So some people want to start with the emotional and they're just ready. They just like, I've got, a couple of people in certain types of positions where they do not want to be labeled. They're not willing to go to a therapist and they really want to start with that. Then I have other people who, because of their specific diagnoses and symptoms, I know that their whole body is very dysregulated. And so sometimes, like I will give you an example. I've recently had someone who learned of a condition that is very concerning, and it's created some anxiety, but that anxiety started after a specific test that was done where a dye was introduced. It was a
Mhm.
very delineated period in which I went from this to this. And I happened to have been around this person before and just ran into them. And it was like night and day. And very aware of the anxiety and the depression, but just not getting answers, not knowing what to do about it. And after some time with this wonderful person, I decided I'm not ready to put them on this with that level of anxiety because it was stimulated and started with a test and there was a dye. My question is whether or not there's some toxicity with that dye that we need to work on first. So, my plan with this person was to try and get some help with the anxiety and some sleep. So, he chose to do home brain tap. So we sell brain tap here. We have a really good discount on them for a home program. And I don't know what's happened after the first night, but I know that there was many more hours of sleep that night than had been reported. So that was a good thing. And I didn't hear from them all weekend. So I'm assuming that things are going well. So, from that perspective, okay, let's get the nervous system calmed down a little bit. But in the meantime, how do we support cellular activity? And how, because I know they eat really well. So, okay, but are you utilizing your nutrition? And how do we help you do that? Well, we want the cell, we want the mitochondria to work really well. So, here, if it's appropriate for the person, we will recommend methylene blue, red light, hyperoxygenating the cells. We have the H-spot, hyperbaric oxygen chamber. But for somebody with anxiety, I'm not putting them in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. We got to get the nervous system regulated. So we also have the ability to get 100% oxygen with a mask. So there's many things that we can do. And, it's a little bit of a trial sometimes too. The first day, I thought I was going to do this, but we ended up putting them on the Flowpresso with a brain tap, and it was a great session. And they were like, I want to buy the brain tap. So while people do call because they're like, yeah, I want to do that, great. And I hope that you can. But I want to know, where are you going to get the biggest bang for your bucks that you spend here? And, to go back to that point, I mean, sure, I'm not a salesperson. I can't sell something I don't believe in, but I can sell a refrigerator ice if I believe in it. If I really think it'll work, I can. So I'm that type of salesperson. And I can sell people things because I believe in it. But here's the thing, if it doesn't help you, are you going to keep coming back? I know I didn't. I spent a lot of money for a lot of things. And the way I've worked with my personal clients and the way I've seen Dr. Sam's office work with his patients, and what we're trying to build here is a community and people who don't need you constantly. I've got people from 2015 and 2016, and I may not hear from them for a couple of years, but then when they have something come up, they'll reach out to me. That is what I want to build. I want to build that kind of trust where you don't need me all the time. You don't need Novum all the time, maybe, but you see this as a place where you can always come when you do need us. Does that make sense the way I said that?
Absolutely.